الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا وسيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. So inshallah we'll continue with the Al-ADABUL. We were supposed to take it yesterday, but because of the rain and there were not many in the mosque, so inshallah we postpone it. Today is also a public holiday. The hadith for today, the section is Babun ala thalatha akhwat, the section of he that nurtures, train, and also look after three sisters. We're talking about the daughters, but now it's now sisters. The hadith is hadith حدثنا 79 حدثنا عبد العزيز بن عبد الله قال حدثني عبد العزيز بن محمد عن سهيل بن أبي صالح عن سعيد بن عبد الرحمن بن مكمل عن أيوب بن بشير المعاوي عن أبي السعيد الخدري أن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم قال لا يكون لأحد ثلاث بنات أو ثلاث أخوات فيحسن إليهن إلا دخل الجنة. حديث حسن أخرجه إمام الترمذي رحمه الله. The hadith was narrated by the great Sahaba Sa'id al-Khudri, Abi Sa'id al-Khudri, that the Messenger of Allah said that a man or somebody will not have three daughters or three sisters and he is kind to them except that Allah will make the person enters paradise. Now, what we have, if you look at this book, we started with the issues that have to do with the mothers. Then after that, we started with the issue that have to do with the daughters. Now, in this hadith, it is being brought, the title is what has to do with the sisters. Now, the women, they are not more than this. And the lesson is, I do not know of any, at least religion, that spoke so much about taking care of the women. At least the one available to us, the Christianship and also the Jewship. I don't know of others. That is the one, I do not know of any religion that speaks very much about women that we should take care of them. And in fact, somebody was saying that the women of Hausa land, that they are enjoying. And I said yes. And the person said that, especially those that are elite among them, that you see them, they will have maid. This will do this, this will do this, this will do this. You see them in big cars sometimes. I said yes. And that is what Islam preaches. Now if you look at generally in the north, for instance, the culture is more towards Islam as compared to the other part of the country. Like Islamic culture is it's very, very apparent. So the Islam that we've mentioned, for instance, the women should stay at home. وَقَرْنَ فِي بُيُوتِكُنَّ وَلَا تَبَرَّجْنَ تَبَرُّجَ الْجَاهِلِيَّةِ الْأُولَى. Like we said the other time, a man should take care of all the responsibility of a woman as much as possible. So you provide for them, you don't allow them to suffer. Of course, we know what is happening nowadays. Some of women have to go out and work to also support the family, but it is the primary responsibility of the man. So the Islam has come already to take care of the women. But of course, those that do not understand, like I mentioned the other time, they will think that you are oppressing the woman by not allowing them to go out. So I do not know, not allowing them, when not going out with tabarruj, I do not know when it has become something that is bad. So the summary of what is in this hadith is, he has brought another angle to it, that is sisters. Because sometimes, if a father gives birth to a child, or a female, or a daughter, and the father's responsibility to take care of that daughter, and the mothers too, but sometimes the father will die, or Allah will take the father to his place, and the person that is remaining are the brothers. So when it now remains the brother, it now becomes the responsibility of the brothers to take care of those sisters. So they take those sisters of his as the daughter now. So that is what is in this hadith. So we know I was saying the other time that those that were seated with the Prophet ﷺ did not ask, what if maybe one daughter, someone that trains one daughter. But I said the ulama, it's a unanimous agreement among them that inshallah, the person that also trained one daughter, inshallah, is going to also be included. So now, the sister. So if one does not have 3 daughters, then perhaps he has 3 sisters. I said the other time, I have 1 daughter, but at least I have 3 sisters, which is part of this hadith. So Islam has to come to take care. So if the father dies, then the brothers becomes like the father, and they take the responsibility of the sisters. That whoever take care of 3 sisters of his and nurtures them, then inshallah, Allah wants to make him enter paradise. It becomes a reason for him to enter paradise as the daughters. So that is the part of the hadith. Now the second hadith for today is hadith 80, number 80. And the Babu Fadli Man Ala Ibnatahu Al-Marduda. That the reward of somebody who nurtures his daughter that has been returned back to him. Now this is another angle. I opened the statement by saying the Islam has come to take care of the women. Because they are tender, they have soft body, tender soul, tender emotion, psychology. Now the hadith was حدثنا Abdillah bin Salih قال حدثنا موسى بن علي عن أبي النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قال بسراقة بن جعشم ألا أدلك على الأعظم الصدقة أو من أعظم الصدقة قال بلى يا رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم قال ابنتك مردودة إليك ليس لها كاسب غيرك. The hadith is أخرجه ابن ماجه, and some of the ulama say the hadith is da'if. But the lesson to learn from the hadith is that the Prophet ﷺ told one of the Sahaba called Suraqa that should I not guide you to a sadaqah that is big, that is sadaqah, azam sadaqah, the best sadaqah, the biggest sadaqah, or one of the biggest sadaqah. And of course, certainly they will answer yes. So anytime the Prophet ﷺ is seated asking the Sahaba, should I not guide you to this? Certainly you must say yes, that yes, guide us. And the Prophet ﷺ said, your daughter that has been returned back to you, and that daughter does not have anybody who can take care of her except you. Now the question is, how can a daughter be returned to you? So this is another angle. So it's another angle to everything. You just have to take care of it. Whatever the scenario is, you take care of that woman as long as it's under you. So the daughter can be returned to you according to the ulama in 2 ways. So one of them is that he's married, she is married, and the husband dies. So when the husband dies, of course, you can't leave her alone. So if the husband dies, no matter what, it continues to be your daughter. So the husband dies and she has finished the iddah, as we know, the 4 months and 10 days. Then she goes back to the house of the father. So when she returns to the father, then that you are very kind to her, then inshallah is the best sadaqah, is one of the best sadaqah you can do. But again, the husband might not die. The husband might divorce the woman. So when the husband divorces the woman, then certainly after the iddah, then she probably will also go back to the father. So I will not say, in fact, that's where the ulama come. I say people today thinks that to divorce a woman is a taboo. In fact, some people even quote the hadith in Quran, the hadith, that as if divorce is something that is very, very bad. So divorce is not something that is bad. It can be bad, it can be good, it can be wajib, it can be haram, it can be makruh. So it depends on the situation, circumstances. And this is very important to emphasize this. Because some culture is like, you must, no matter what, you stay there, you die there. That once you are married, you must, instead of you to leave that place, it's better you die there. Like, this is wrong. In fact, the divorce in that instant becomes wajib, that you must do it. By the time it's leading to, there's no doubt that divorce is not something that is encouraged, but there are situations when it is encouraged. Now, for instance, at least it is said that shaitan, that in Iblis, yadu arshahu al-alma, in the hadith of non-Muslim, that Iblis, he put his arsh, his throne, on the surface of the water. Now, yabhas sarawiyahu, That every day, every time, he will send his emissaries, his soldiers, to go out. Now, فَأَدْنَاهُ مِنْهُمْ أَعْظَمُهُمْ فِتْنَةً or أَدْنَاهُ مِنْهُمْ مَنْزِلَةً أَعْظَمُهُمْ فِتْنَةً. The best of those his soldiers are those that are able to spread big facade. You know, it is not reasonable that how can the best be the person that, whether that's why it's Iblis, that is the one that can spread a lot of fitna. Now, يَجِيهُ أَحَدُهُمْ فَيَقُولُ صَنَعْتُ كَذَا وَصَنَعْتُ كَذَا وَقَالَ إِبْلِيسُ لَمْ تَصْنَعْ شَيْءٍ. That one of the soldiers, some of them will come, I have done this, I have made this person kill this person, I have made this person steal them, I have made this one. Then Shaitan, Iblis will say that you have not done anything. Then فَيَجِيهُ أَحَدُهُمْ. Then some of the soldiers of Shaitan will come back, they will report to him. They will come to him and they will say that مَا تَرَكْتُهُ حَتَّى فَرَّقْتُ بَيْنَهُ وَبَيْنَ أَهْلِهِ أَوْ وَبَيْنَ زَوْجَتِهِ. Then فَيَقُولُ فَعْدِنَاهُ مِنْ فَيَقُولُ نِئْمَ أَنْتِ. The hadith is very authentic. That some of them will now come to Shaitan and will say, this man, I did not leave him until I made sure he divorced his woman. Then Iblis will now bring him close. That, well done, you have done very well. The hadith is very sahih. It's to show that ideally in a normal way, a divorce should not, because a lot of things can happen from divorce. A lot of evil things can happen. One of them is a very common one. Is that you divorce a woman, then maybe you don't have another woman. For you to wait for that 3 iddah period, or even if you wait for the iddah period and it's over, eventually the woman go. Before you get married to another one, perhaps the person will start committing zina. Even in that iddah period, perhaps you just want her to go, you start committing zina. And one of the worst evil somebody can commit is zina. Now, apart from that, of course, we all know that if you divorce a woman, for instance, then especially when there are children among the two of them, then those children, I always say that blood is thicker than water. It is difficult for another woman to take care of your children. It's not a normal thing. It can occur just like you would do. So for some of these reasons, normally STP, ideally a divorce should not happen, but then it might happen. So when it needs to happen, by the time, like I mentioned, by the time it's leading to both of you, you cannot do what Islam says you should do. Allah has mentioned in Quran that Allah has brought from you like the spouses. وَجَعَلَ بَيْنَكُمْ مَوَدَّةً وَرَحْمَةً. That Allah has put love between you and Allah has put mercy between you. By the time that love is no more there, by the time the rahmah is no more there, then there's no point you people being together. Today is fight. Tomorrow is fine. To the extent that we hear nowadays, people kill themselves. The husband will kill, the wife will kill. So by the time it's getting to that stage, or you people cannot do what Allah says you should do, then they should what? They should go. In any case, did the Prophet not divorce his wife? He divorced one of his wife. Who is the person? Hafsa. The Prophet Hafsa, thumma rajaha. It is Umar that was saying it. And this is something that is real. That Prophet divorced Hafsa, and what? And they returned the Hafsa to him. So the divorce is not as something that is haram, but then sometimes it can be haram, sometimes it can be what? It can be makruh, sometimes it can be wajib, it has to be done. And it's because of this. And this is an hadith, even though it is what? It is hadith from da'if, but then that it's in Quran. To the extent that Allah even revealed what? It completes surah to talaq. Ya ayyuhan nabi, idha talaqtum nisa fatalliquhunna li'iddatihinna wa ahsul hiddah. Allah will not command that you should do something except there is goodness in it. So when it is, there are situations when it is good. So I think that's the point that is being emphasized. So if it now happens for whatever reason, the woman is returned to the person, then it's not that the person should now start blaming that lady until you know what has happened. Because some people is like, because I know if I go back to my house now, the family, they will just, instead they're abusing me, they neglect me, you are a waste, you are like this, you are like this. So the woman will stay there, no matter what he says. So okay, she should die there. You stay there, you die there. Islam is not that yes, it's for better, for worse. But then not that you must stay there until you die there. Why? So if there are reasons why they should separate, then they should separate. But what is encouraged is that what? They should, as much as possible, they should be together as much as possible, except when it becomes necessary, there's no way out there they can. So I think the message from the hadith is very clear, that if it so happens that the talaq happens, then the father should still take care of that daughter of his. And I think today, inshallah, the last hadith for today is the hadith that is also short, hadith number 82. The hadith was narrated from Ibn Ma'di, the Karb, that he heard the Prophet ﷺ saying, "Dama at'amta nafsak fahuwa laka sadaqah." Whatever you feed yourself with, it is sadaqah for you. وَمَا أَطْعَمْتَ وَلَدَكَ فَهُوَ لَكَ صَدَقَةٌ. Whatever you feed your children with, I want you to be following the sequence. Whatever you feed your children with or your child with, it is sadaqah for you. وَمَا أَطْعَمْتَ زَوْجَكَ فَهُوَ لَكَ صَدَقَةٌ. Whatever you feed your wife, your spouse with is sadaqah. وَمَا أَطْعَمْتَ خَادِمَكَ فَهُوَ لَكَ صَدَقَةٌ. Whatever you feed your maid, somebody working in your house with, is the sadaqah. And that is where the hadith head. The hadith is they said the hadith is Sahih. Imam Nasa'i reported the hadith. But then Shaykh Albani rahimahullah, in his book, because he has book AL-ADABUL MUFRAD, he added something to it. Then in ihtasabta fi dhalika amalaka lillah. That all this feeding, you get the sadaqah if you are doing it certainly with the niyyah that because of Allah, that's why I'm doing this thing. Then that is when it becomes sadaqah for you. The hadith is very important. The message from this hadith, I say we should follow it, is that it has to do with the family. Now if you look at this hadith, it's talking about the family. So it's that taqdeemul li-ahl, to give preference to the family. In fact, that is the main message from this hadith. As much as possible, I've emphasized it a lot of time. You start from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, then perhaps yourself, your mother, then your father, then some others, that once you give preference to his family, you should feed your house first. Then you can now extend the hand outside and feed the people that are outside. It's not that the wife or the children, they will be malnourished, while the people you are feeding people that are outside. Or it's not that you give most of your time to people outside, while your family do not have your time. You give people outside money, while your family, they are suffering at home. That is not what Islam has preached. At Prophet he even he gave advice about his own family, even before he went to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Usikum bi ahli. That I give you advice that this is my family. That one is specific for Prophet, but then a lot of ahadiths are showing that we should give preference to your family as much as possible. I think we'll stop at that, inshallah. May Allah give us the best understanding, and may Allah forgive us our shortcoming and admit us to paradise on the day of Qiyamah. Wallahu a'lam. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.